The Senate Democratic Caucus is on the cusp of a generational shift. Senator Dick Durbin, the current majority whip, is expected to retire in 2026. Durbin, a respected figure in the party, has held the position since 2005. His departure creates a void in leadership and an opportunity for younger senators to rise. This transition comes at a pivotal moment. Democrats face a divided Congress, a resurgent Republican Party, and the looming presence of Donald Trump. The new generation of leaders will need to navigate these challenges with skill and determination. This changing of the guard is not just about age, it's about a shift in perspective and priorities. Younger senators bring new ideas, fresh energy, and a different understanding of the challenges facing the country. They are digital natives, more diverse than their predecessors and acutely aware of the concerns of younger voters. This generational shift has the potential to reshape the Democratic Party and its approach to governing. The stakes are high. Democrats need to regain the trust of working-class voters, address income inequality, and combat climate change. They must also find a way to counter the Republican Party's embrace of populism and cultural grievance. The new generation of leaders will be tasked with finding solutions to these pressing issues. Durbin's retirement is a reminder that time marches on, but it is also an opportunity for renewal and reinvention. The Democratic Party has always been a big tent party, welcoming of new voices and ideas. The coming generational shift is a chance for the party to rededicate itself to its core values and chart a new course for the future. The current Democratic leadership in the Senate reflects the party's long history and institutional memory. Senator Chuck Schumer, the majority leader, is a seasoned politician with decades of experience. He has been a strong voice for progressive values and a shrewd negotiator in a divided Congress. Senator Patty Murray, the president pro tempore, is another veteran lawmaker known for her pragmatism and ability to build consensus. These leaders have guided the party through challenging times from the aftermath of 9/11 to the Great Recession. They have fought for affordable healthcare, economic justice, and environmental protection. Their experience and expertise are invaluable assets to the Democratic caucus. However, the party's leadership also reflects a generational divide. The average age of the top Democratic leaders is over 70. This is in stark contrast to the Republican Party, which has seen a surge of younger leaders in recent years. This age gap has led some to question whether the Democratic Party is out of touch with the concerns of younger voters. The party's leadership structure also raises questions about succession planning. With several senior members nearing retirement, it is unclear who will step up to fill the void. The party needs to cultivate a new generation of leaders who are ready to take the reins. Amidst the anticipation surrounding generational change, a quartet of younger senators has emerged as potential leaders for the future. Brian Schatz, Amy Klobuchar, Cory Booker, and Chris Murphy. Each brings a unique set of skills, experiences, and perspectives to the table, positioning themselves as potential successors to the current guard. Senator Brian Schatz of Hawaii, known for his tech savviness and progressive stances, has garnered attention for his sharp intellect and policy chops. His ability to connect with younger voters and his understanding of the digital age make him a formidable force in shaping the party's future. Senator Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota, recognized for her pragmatism and ability to reach across the aisle, brings a Midwestern sensibility and a reputation for getting things done. Her experience in crafting bipartisan legislation and her focus on kitchen table issues resonate with voters across the political spectrum. Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey, a charismatic and passionate advocate for social justice, has become a leading voice on issues of race, equality, and opportunity. His ability to inspire and mobilize grassroots support, coupled with his commitment to progressive values, makes him a powerful figure in the party. Senator Chris Murphy of Connecticut, a vocal advocate for gun control and healthcare reform, has emerged as a strong voice for progressive values and a tireless advocate for working families. His willingness to challenge the status quo and his commitment to fighting for those who have been left behind has earned him respect within the caucus. The impending generational shift within the Senate Democratic Caucus is not merely a matter of demographics. It's a catalyst for internal debates and a reassessment of strategic direction. As younger senators, emboldened by their own experiences and perspectives, step into the fray, they bring with them a willingness to challenge the status quo and advocate for new approaches. One key area of debate centers on the party's messaging and its ability to connect with working-class voters, many of whom feel left behind by economic changes and cultural shifts. Younger senators, attuned to the anxieties of their generation, argue for a more populist economic message. one that emphasizes good-paying jobs, affordable healthcare, and a fairer tax system. Another point of contention revolves around the party's approach to countering the Republican Party's embrace of cultural grievance and divisive rhetoric. Some younger senators advocate for a more forceful and unapologetic defense of progressive values, while others caution against alienating moderate voters. The debate also extends to the party's legislative strategy, with some younger senators pushing for bolder action on issues like climate change, gun control, and immigration reform. They argue that incrementalism is no longer sufficient and that Democrats need to offer a clear and compelling alternative to the Republican agenda. This internal debate, while at times contentious, reflects a healthy dynamism within the Democratic caucus. It is a sign that the party is grappling with the challenges of the moment and seeking to chart a new course for the future. The specter of Donald Trump looms large over the Senate, casting a long shadow over the Democratic caucus and its internal dynamics. While there is broad agreement on the need to oppose Trump's policies, a generational divide has emerged over the best tactics and strategies for doing so. Many younger senators who came of age politically during the Trump era argue for a more confrontational approach. They believe that Democrats need to be more aggressive in challenging Trump's lies, holding him accountable for his actions, and exposing the corrupt underbelly of his administration. These younger senators, fueled by a sense of urgency and a belief that the stakes are too high for complacency, advocate for using every tool at their disposal, from congressional investigations to public protests, to expose Trump's abuses of power and protect democratic institutions. Older senators, while sharing the goal of countering Trump, tend to favor a more cautious approach. They worry that excessive confrontation could backfire, energizing Trump's base and alienating moderate voters. They prefer to focus on legislative battles where they believe they can achieve concrete victories and demonstrate a clear contrast with the Trump agenda. This generational divide reflects a broader debate within the Democratic Party about how best to oppose Trumpism. It's a debate about tone, tactics, and strategy. And it's a debate that is likely to intensify as the 2020 election approaches. Section 6. Beyond the Beltway, Bennett's move and the national implications. Senator Michael Bennett's decision to run for governor of Colorado in 2026 adds another layer of complexity to the evolving landscape of the Senate Democratic caucus. Bennett's move, while driven by a desire to effect change at the state level, also highlights the growing frustration among some Democrats with the gridlock and partisan warfare that have come to define Washington, D.C. Bennett's departure will create another Senate vacancy, potentially opening the door for a new generation of leadership. It also underscores the national implications of the generational shift within the Democratic Party. As younger Democrats ascend to positions of power in Washington and across the country, they bring with them new ideas, new priorities, and a new energy to the fight for progressive change. This new generation of leaders is acutely aware of the challenges facing the country, from climate change and economic inequality to racial injustice and the erosion of democratic norms. They are also keenly aware of the need to restore faith in government and rebuild trust with voters who feel left behind by the political system. Bennett's decision to return to Colorado reflects a growing recognition that the fight for the soul of the nation is playing out not just in Washington, D.C., but in state houses and communities across the country. It's a reminder that change often starts at the local level and that the Democratic Party must be a force for progress at every level of government. Section 7, A New Hope, the promise and challenges of younger leadership. The rise of a new generation of leaders within the Senate Democratic caucus brings with it a sense of hope and possibility. These younger senators, unburdened by the baggage of past battles and energized by a desire for change, offer a fresh perspective and a renewed commitment to progressive values. They are digital natives, fluent in the language of social media, and attuned to the concerns of younger voters. They are also more diverse than their predecessors, reflecting the changing demographics of the country and bringing a wider range of experiences and perspectives to the table. This new generation of leaders is not afraid to challenge the status quo, to speak truth to power, and to fight for the needs of working families. They are also more comfortable with collaboration and compromise, recognizing that progress often requires finding common ground. However, the path forward for these rising stars is not without its challenges. They will need to navigate the treacherous waters of Washington politics, where experience and relationships are often as valuable as ideas and energy. They will also need to manage the expectations of their supporters, who are eager for change, but may be impatient with the slow pace of progress in the Senate. Section 8. The future is now. A call for boldness and a unified front. The impending generational shift within the Senate Democratic Caucus presents both a challenge and an opportunity for the party. It is a challenge because it requires navigating a period of transition and uncertainty, as new leaders emerge and old assumptions are challenged. But it is also an opportunity to inject new energy and ideas into the party, to connect with a new generation of voters, and to chart a bolder course for the future. To seize this opportunity, Democrats must embrace boldness and unity. They must be willing to fight for their values, even when it is unpopular, and to stand up for the needs of working families, even when it means challenging powerful interests. But they must also recognize that they cannot achieve their goals alone. They need to build a broad coalition of support, reaching out to independents, moderates, and disaffected Republicans who share their vision for a more just and equitable society. The time for incrementalism is over. The challenges facing the country are too great, and the stakes are too high. Democrats must offer a bold and compelling alternative to the Republican agenda, one that speaks to the hopes and aspirations of all Americans. Section 9. Conclusion. The stakes are high for Democrats and the nation. The anticipated changing of the guard within the Senate Democratic Caucus signifies more than just a shift in leadership. It represents a pivotal moment for the party and the nation. As seasoned veterans prepare to pass the torch to a new generation, the stakes have never been higher. The challenges ahead are formidable: a deeply divided electorate, a political system seemingly resistant to change, and the ever-present threat of Donald Trump's brand of populism. It is a time that demands both experience and fresh perspectives, a blend of pragmatism and idealism. The emerging leaders, with their energy, diverse backgrounds, and commitment to progressive values, offer a beacon of hope. Yet their success hinges on their ability to navigate the complexities of the Senate, build consensus within their ranks, and connect with a wary public yearning for solutions. The eyes of the nation are upon them. The future of the Democratic Party, and indeed the direction of the country, may well depend on their ability to rise to the occasion.